Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing well. Today we're going to start a new course in this channel called Introduction to System Design. The course is going to be primarily geared towards new graduates and early career software engineers. The way I designed the course is keeping in mind the guide that I wish I had when I started in software engineering a few years ago. Primarily, the course is going to have two distinctly different kinds of content. The first is going to be the more theoretical side of system design, where we are going to talk about different system design concepts and details. And then the second part is going to be the real life use cases, where we are going to design real life applications like Instagram, Amazon, or PayPal from scratch, talk about the different kinds of way we can implement these systems, the different trade-offs we make, and all those kind of things. So at first, let's take a look at some of the theoretical system design concepts that we're going to talk about. We're going to start with the basic scaling topic. So what is horizontal scaling, what's vertical scaling, and when do you need which one? We're also going to talk about different proxies like load balancer, API gateway, and reverse proxy. Each and every one of them have different use cases and benefits, so we're going to go into the details from a theoretical point of view. We're also going to talk quite a bit about databases, but before diving into databases, we are going to talk about the data structures that are the foundation upon which the database is built. More often than not, it's usually B trees or LSM trees that are at the base of every database. So we're going to talk about these two data structures, why you need them, and how one is different from the other. Then we're going to look at some more database topics like change data capture, replication lag, and synchronous and asynchronous replication. All three are related to how, when you have one instance of a database and you want to listen to changes in the database or copy your data to other databases, how you can do that, what are the trade-offs, and what are the benefits and disadvantages. From there, we're going to talk about the fundamental database concepts like ACID transactions and CAP theorem. We're also going to talk about the different database systems out there like relational, non-relational, and blob. All three are different kind of databases and they have different use cases. So we're going to talk about the trade-offs, when do you use which one, and what's the benefit you get out of using each one of these. We are also going to talk about data warehouses and data lakes. These are not databases you use to power your application, but databases that you need in your organization for analytics or other product decisions. Apart from databases, we're also going to talk about caching. It's becoming more and more important to implement caching in your application so that your users can get the best performance out of it. So we're going to talk about server caching, client caching, because you can cache both on the server and the client. We're also going to talk about distributed caching, because in an environment where you are horizontally scaling your servers, you want to use some kind of a distributed cache. Otherwise, the data in your cache cannot be shared across your different server machines. Then we're going to talk about the different system architectures like API design and microservices. The two kind of go hand in hand, because if you have a microservice architecture, the individual services usually talk to each other through APIs, and that's where API design comes in. So we're going to talk about good API design, bad API design, and when do you want to use REST APIs, when you can use something other than REST API, and all those things. Some more architecture concepts are going to be things like message queue, so Kafka or RabbitMQ. We're also going to talk about pub-sub model. So that's like a publish-subscribe model where the producers and consumers are kind of decoupled, and you have this message bus in the middle. So your publisher can just publish the data and your consumer can listen to it independently. So it's a pretty cool way to kind of decouple your individual microservices or different systems within your application. We're also going to talk about event-driven system. It's becoming more and more common to have more event-driven pipelines in your application where based on certain events in your app, you can trigger different actions. So we're going to talk about the different technologies you can use and how can you set up something that is powered by an event-driven system. More architecture things, we're going to talk about batch processing and stream processing, how the two are different. So batch processing would be something like a Hadoop or a Spark job that is offline and runs periodically. And then we're gonna talk about stream processing, which includes technologies like Beam, Flink, and other kind of like real-time systems where you do your data processing in real time as the data enters your system, rather than doing it offline periodically. And while talking about the two, we're gonna talk about and build different data pipelines so that you can see how you can create one consolidated pipeline and have different batch and stream processing jobs based on that one data pipeline. After talking about all the different architecture concepts, we are going to talk about the system health. That's going to include things like once you build a system, how do you monitor it? How do you set up alerts? And what are the different metrics that you care about? Because once you have a system built and you have your customers or users using the system, you want very good visibility into it so that whenever your users are running into any kind of issue, you get alerted to it automatically. So those are going to be the theoretical parts of system design. So we're going to talk about them in details, talk about some examples and when to use it and how to use it. And then we're also going to have the other part of the course, which is going to be the real life examples where we're going to design different applications from scratch. So I'm going to start with like the requirements of the application, and then we're going to talk through the different approaches and the trade-offs we're making. And then finally, we're going to end up with a system design diagram of the whole application. At the beginning, I am going to have some more simple and straightforward system design problems like a rate limiter or a URL shortener or something like a notification system. These tend to be a bit more simple to design. So we are gonna talk about the different ways you can implement these and what trade-offs you're gonna make in each of the cases. From there, we're gonna move on to some of the more complex systems like a newsfeed system, like an Instagram or a Twitter. We're gonna talk about payment systems like PayPal or Square. And then we're also gonna design e-commerce applications like Amazon. Then we're gonna move on to somewhat more real-time applications like a real-time gaming leaderboard where let's say you have a multiplayer game where people are playing online and you want to make sure that the score is updating correctly. Also applications like a stock exchange, like a Robinhood app or something like that, which involves a lot of real-time streaming data. And then we're gonna build some reservation systems like Expedia or Kayak. All right, more systems that we're going to take a look at. The first one is an ads click system. Most of the social media platforms have very complex ad system to monetize the ads the best way they can. So we're going to take a look at a few systems that are out there right now. Also location services like Google Maps and Apple Maps and how you can find the nearby friends that you have or restaurants that are around you and how the concept of geolocation works. We're also going to touch upon email services and how the different email protocols work and how can you design a basic email service. All right, and finally we're going to build a few more things like a chat service like a WhatsApp or Telegram or Signal. So a chat service, how can you like make sure that you can see whether someone's online or offline? How can you send messages to each other in real time? And also talk about things concerning privacy when it comes to peer-to-peer chats. Also video applications like YouTube or Dailymotion or whatever, like TikTok, all those things. We're going to talk about how you can design these video applications, how to store the video, how to transcode, compress, and all those kind of things. And finally, I'm going to talk about some autocomplete systems like Google Search or literally any kind of search engine where you get suggestions as you type. So it uses a lot of different data structures and how the whole thing works. We're going to talk about it and then design it from scratch. So that's going to be the content of the course. So it's going to be the theory content and then the more real life examples, right? So now let's talk about the format of the course and how am I going to be publishing the videos. So my aim is to have 2 to 3 videos going out every week. We are going to start with some easy real life examples like a rate limiter or a URL shortener. Once we do 2 or 3 basic real life example to kind of give you an idea of what are the different components involved from a very high level. After that, we're gonna dive deeper into a mixture between the theory and real life examples. So I'm not gonna do like all theory and then all real life examples because it's very difficult to picture how the theoretical videos would apply to real life examples. So I feel like if I front load all the theory videos at first and then move on to the real life, there might be like a disconnect between the two. That's why what I'm gonna do is once we are done with the 2 or 3 beginner real life examples, I'm gonna mix up the theory and real life examples so that let's say if for a particular real life example, we need 2 or 3 theoretical concepts that you need to know beforehand, I'm gonna upload those at first and then go ahead and upload the real life example. So expect the content to be varied. So we're gonna have some theory, some real life, and then some theory again. And finally at the end, once I have covered most of the system design concepts and the real life examples, I'm gonna have a technical deep dive into some of the particular system design concepts that I feel are more important and needs more time. So yeah, that's gonna be the course. I hope you're gonna find it exciting and learn quite a bit from it. I'm gonna go ahead and consolidate all the different resources that I have used to come up with the course and to come up with all the different problems that you're gonna see. Most of these are gonna be from 2 system design books and then a data intensive application book, and also a few blog posts that I have read in different companies' engineering blogs. Alright, so if you are excited, I would recommend just following or subscribing the channel so that you get notified whenever I upload the video. And yeah, look forward to the next video, which is gonna be coming out hopefully on Wednesday. So I'm gonna see you then. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of the day, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.